So for everyone's comfort, I'll put us on mute. Of course, if you have a question, unmute yourself and ask, or you're welcome to type it in the chat. But we can find our props. I'll back up here. Okay. And as we allow ourselves to get settled, you may want to start in a seated shape, possibly finding a blanket, a block, a pillow, or something for your tailbone. You might be laying down today if that's how you want to start your practice, or you might be sitting in a different way, and that's okay too. But once you allow yourself to become comfortable, we'll close our eyes. Maybe you shift around for a little bit, and then you'll find stillness. And then from here, we'll begin to enter into our space, really. Kind of like when you're going to watch a movie and you have all the credits roll by, it's preparing you for the big event of the movie, you know, or when you're at a concert and you see all of those performers starting the concert, which I feel like the opening act, there we go, you know, like the opening act before the main event. So here, within that same idea, we're getting ourselves prepared for class. The body will arrive into stillness. And then as you notice the shape of the body, you'll begin to feel into the breath and hear into the breath. You may begin to find yourself softening almost naturally. And then as you soften into the gaze, back behind the eyes, releasing into the temples of the forehead, let yourself notice what you're seeing at the backs of the eyelids. And from the perception of the eyes, perception of the breath, perception of the body, just notice what presents itself here. As we continue to draw our senses inward, arriving towards our practice, we'll think about one of the main concepts in Yin, which is that idea of finding our edge. Right? That place between comfort and discomfort when we're within our stretches. And sometimes we're riding our edge because of sensation. Sometimes we're riding our edge because we're still or because there's quiet. So we could be in that place of comfort and discomfort for different reasons. But overall, we're within that place of the edge, not passing it, just in it, in the edge. And from that experience within that polarity of comfort and discomfort, we allow ourselves to learn how to be bold within our practice. And we also learn how to be humble. So as we find time within these stretches and transition between the stretches, right, notice the times when you're bold within your practice, and then notice the times that you're humbled. So take a moment to let thoughts and feelings and ideas arrive around that concept. And then we'll welcome ourselves here with a cleansing breath. Let's inhale through the nose. Open the lips to exhale. Again, like that. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. As you notice that natural warmth, you can keep your hands relaxed within the lap, or you can bring them into a prayer shape at heart center. Listening or joining me for the sound of Om as we take a deep breath in. Om. Very gently bowing your chin towards your chest. Take a moment to allow the vibrations and the breath to settle within the heart space, allowing them to reverberate off of the walls of the inner body and allow them to seal your intentions for practice. And from here, you can slowly open the eyes, bringing the hands away. Coming out of your seated position, or if you're lying down, you'll come back to sit. And we're actually going to start in our sleeping swan, speaking of sleeping swan. So when we do this, again, just to remind everybody, it looks basically the same as what our pigeon pose is, but a little different. So what's different is you're going to find those props to support your belly and your chest, whether you want to use bolsters or pillows or blocks or whatever you want to do to stack the height. And we're going to start with our left leg. So as we draw our left knee up towards the chest, right leg will go long. And because we're here, if you need a blanket underneath the knee, prop the knee. If you need a blanket underneath your left glute, you'll prop the left glute. Same idea. When we take this relaxed stance in sleeping swan, some people, just depending on your pelvis, depending on how you feel that day, the right hip starts to drop a little bit. And if that increases sensation for you and you feel comfortable there, fine. But if there's any day where you want to take a prop, a blanket, and put that on your left heel, and then you can prop your right hip, you're welcome to do that too. Okay? Depending on your sensation, you may stay at your palms. Maybe you float down to the forearms or lower. Same thing with the position of the shin. It does not have to be forced to be parallel to the top of the mat. Right? You can even be on the entire shin. Or maybe it starts to create a little more of an external rotation in the hip if it moves forward, more forward, more forward, more forward. Okay, but really it's more like where can you be comfortable on the shin to feel your stretch, to feel the sensation of the pose, be there in stillness. Okay, so no right or wrong way. You may take a moment here to allow yourselves to logistically find the best place to begin. And then when you're ready, you'll close your eyes and you'll come to stillness. And within these first few moments of the stretch, we might spend time arriving. Just getting ourselves situated, noticing what sensations you feel. But from there, within your time and space, we'll find ourselves softening. And when we soften, we let ourselves release any unnecessary tension that's being held during the pose. Notice any unnecessary gripping or clenching. Guiding yourself to reclaim this space as you relax into the experience. And we're still within our edge, that place between comfort and discomfort. Softening just helps us support this experience. More importantly, this letting go allows us to be humbled by the experience itself, by the stretch itself. It's as if we're bowing in towards our body. And letting ourselves release gently. Through this letting go and through this release, we also allow ourselves to receive. Spending a few more moments with your breath here. And you may find yourself taking one more full cycle of breath. At the bottom of the exhale, you can choose to stay a little longer, or you'll gently begin to walk yourself up and out of Sleeping Swan. And then just move intuitively from there. Right? So maybe you walk yourself into tabletop, you roll around onto sit, and maybe the body guides you back down. Maybe those intuitive movements that are being desired, right, by that time in stillness, maybe that's drawing the knees into the chest and rocking side to side. Maybe that's taking a moment to just lay on your back, straighten your legs, straighten your arms, almost like a mini Shavasana. But however you choose to embody that experience is your choice. Taking some intuitive movements as you release from the stretch helps you transition into this moment right now that we call rebound. Taking a moment to reflect, taking a moment to allow the fascia to contract back to those points of stretch. And sometimes this challenges people's edge. Staying present within rebound may guide you to comfort, may guide you to discomfort, or somewhere in between. So just take another moment here. And if your body is asking you to stay in rebound, you're more than welcome to stay. If you're choosing to come into the next stretch, we'll actually find ourselves on our belly. So we're not going to come into the opposite side of Sleeping Swan just yet. We're going to come to the belly so that we can take open wing. Within there, you may just want a pillow or a blanket to support your head. And I'm going to show the pose both ways so that you can see it from behind and in front. So with that though, we're going to be taking our left arm out to T. So when your left arm is out to T, you'll bring your head, you'll turn to your left cheek, and then you'll be rolling into the shoulder. So your hand is going to be behind you. Okay, but I'll just show you some leg variations. So left arm's out to T, you'll roll into the shoulder. You can draw your knees high into the chest if you'd like. Maybe one leg will straighten and then the other leg will straighten. Or you can choose to bend that right knee and place the foot on the floor. That foot can be behind the left thigh or in front of the left thigh, just depending on what is best for the rotation of your hip, so you decide. And then that opposite arm, right hand can stay relaxed in front of you. Maybe you lower to the forearm, or you reach the arm up and around the low back and take a half bind. Okay, cool. So yeah, as you know these variations and get used to them, you're welcome to just come right into the pose. However, if you're looking for maybe a newer variation, if you're needing less of a stretch or more of a stretch, and you want to ask how to get there, then that would be a good indication if you want to unmute or ask something in the chat. But once you figure out, again, the logistics of the body for open wing, you'll then close your eyes. And then we'll come to stillness. Maybe you still feel the subtle sensations from sleeping swan. How the sensations from the left lower side of the body merge with the left upper side of the body. But again, as you observe these places of stretch, whether it's in one place or multiple, no right or wrong. Find yourself softening when you're ready. Softening and letting go may allow yourself to enhance the experience of the fascial stretch. It may help the mind relax. But even deciding to stay in this stillness, committing to stay in this stillness, maybe that's your actions of being bold. Being bold to sit within sensation and to observe sensation. To be present here within the internal environment. But it's through the softening and through the quiet that we become humbled. So feel free to take the mind, or to allow the mind to take you on any thoughts or ideas around that theme. taking a few more breaths wherever you are. And from here, you can choose to stay. Or if you're going to release, we'll lift up the right arm if it's behind us. Slowly bring that right palm back in front. One leg will float on top of the other as we slowly roll onto the belly. Take your time as you roll out of the shoulder. You can keep your hands wherever you want, above you, underneath you, back by the hips. And just feeling the release of that left shoulder, left side body. If it feels good, you can kick the feet up and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Or maybe you just rock through the hips. The legs could stay down. You could just rock through the hips a little bit. Maybe that movement will then guide you into rebound. But sometimes the spine wants extension. So if that feels intuitively good to you, palms will come underneath the shoulders. You'll pull the chest forward at any height, at any level. And you might roll back to the belly, or maybe you'll push up and let yourself find a child's pose shape. It's really about noticing what the body desires after that time in stillness, and honoring yourself enough to do it. Our fascia holds our hydration, right? So when we say it's important to drink water, stay hydrated, we're hydrating our fascia, what we're stretching. So when we release from the poses, find those little intuitive movements, no right or wrong, but it's about quenching that thirst of the fascia. Not just with water, but within those little intuitive movements, knowing when to stay still, so that we can then give ourselves that time to absorb. Taking a few more breaths here in your rebounds. Okay, so before you even awaken from your rebound, I'm going to let you decide here where to go. So option 1 is to find sleeping swan on the right knee. Option 2 is to go into the right side of open wing. So what does your body, where does your body want to go right now? We're on the belly, so maybe you choose to take open wing and then you'll take sleeping swan. Or you're welcome to pop back up, walk yourself into sleeping swan, and then you'll take open wing on the next time. Either way, we're doing both poses, but I'm just going to let you decide which way you want to go first. Okay, just following the body's intuitive energy. No right or wrong. We're going to get to both poses anyway. Now, whether you're taking sleeping swan or whether you're taking open wing, you'll find those appropriate props to help support you. Once you've found the best place to begin, you'll close your eyes and we'll come to stillness. Maybe you find the meditation comforting here when we enter each pose. Checking in with the sounds of the breath. And checking in with the gaze at the backs of the eyelids. Within your time here, you can find yourself continuously softening, letting go of unnecessary tension, letting go of unnecessary control. You'll be finding consistent space that the body can reclaim. And within each opening, the breath is reunited with that place within the body. As the fascia detangles itself or knots itself. And staying present wherever you are. And from here, if you'd like to stay longer, you're more than welcome to. Or if you're choosing to release, you'll slowly begin to awaken out of open wing or out of sleeping swan, depending on which pose you just took. Again, quenching the thirst of the fascia here. Right? Slowly unraveling, finding any intuitive movements, if desired, whatever those look like. And then we'll be meeting within our space to rebound. Just that moment to pause. The breath catches up with itself. The body catches up with itself, especially as we feel those subtle sensations. It gives you another moment to observe, but this also gives the body a moment to build that fascial memory. So take another moment here to pause. Maybe you can soften even within the space of rebound. And if you're interested in staying here longer, you're more than welcome to stay. Or whenever you're ready, we'll begin to wake ourselves up out of rebound so that we can come into the last pose of that little sequence, which will either be your right side of sleeping swan or your right side of open wing. And again, no right or wrong, whatever you decide to do, great. Maybe today, doing that little sequence, you chose one option, but months from now, you may choose a whole new option. But coming into this second side, you may readjust your props, whether you choose sleeping swan or open wing, you'll find those corresponding props. I just got a new iPhone today. I don't know if anyone has the iPhone 11, but I can't really figure out all of it yet. It's like there's no home screen. So it's like every time you try to get in the phone to start the timer, it boggles me. So as I figure out that, everybody's adjusting their props. And not rushing, of course, into the stretch, right? If you're on the opposite side of open wing, then your right arm's out to T. If you're taking the opposite side of sleeping swan, we'll have that right knee come up long and then allow the left leg to relax. And again, positioning the shin in the best place to begin, not forcing it by any means. And then whenever you're ready, you'll close your eyes. And you'll allow yourself to come to stillness. Breathing into the places of sensation. Sometimes sensation is intense, sometimes it's very light. Sometimes sensation can be very prevalent. Other times it's like the boiling of water, and it just becomes more and more steady, more and more heated, almost more and more vibrant. But no expectations of what to feel. Just arriving into the expressions of the body here. And again, noticing within the experience, right, where your yin practice challenges and shows you those times of boldness and decision making. And then other times it's going to guide you through that softness, showing the way in which we can be humbled. You'll notice the polarities of these within all the layers in between. A few more breaths here. If you'd like to stay longer where you are, you're more than welcome to stay. If you're choosing to release, begin to do so slowly and mindfully. Whether you're releasing from the right side of sleeping swan or releasing from the right side of open wing, facing any direction within the room. Right? As you release from the pose, maybe the body keeps you in the same direction, maybe the direction changes. So it's through that transitional movement where we find some counter shapes, fascia contracting back towards all the muscles and bones and organs. And then whenever you're ready, you'll find that pause in your rebound shape. Maybe it'll look like a yoga shape. Maybe it looks something different. No problem. But within that moment, you'll reclose the eyes, find stillness, and just begin to embody that experience. Noticing any expansion of breath. Sometimes you'll hear gurgles in the belly, gurgles within the throat. You'll feel those areas of sensation present within your awareness. And then from here, if you'd like to stay in rebound a little longer, you're more than welcome to do so. Or whenever you're ready, maybe you take a few little movements to awaken out of rebound, whatever that looks like. And then we're going to come back to a seated shape. So this seated shape, it's going to guide us into a double stretch. Okay, so we're going to start first with dragonfly, but then we're going to lay down to take butterfly. So I'm just going to turn to the side so that everyone can see. Within your forward fold, you may want to take a pillow or a blanket and prop your tailbone. So I'm going to do that. And then our legs coming into a V, as close or as wide as you'd like to, just depending on sensation, right? That's going to consist of the dragonfly shape. So you might be finding your blocks or more pillows and blankets to stack one on top of the other. However you want to do this. This is going to support us as we forward fold, okay? Of course, you're welcome to make things higher, right? Like maybe you stack your bolster or your pillow to the ground. It'll just support your forehead. This is a flimsy pillow, so it won't really work. But if you have a sturdy bolster, you could do this. From there, though, even if things wrap around your belly, you'll walk your arms over the belly or over the prop. Okay, so we're all going to start in dragonfly. But then we won't take rebound right away. We're going to move our props out of the way. We'll scooch ourselves down. And then immediately we're going to take butterfly. Okay, so I'll talk about butterfly once we're actually there. But just so you know, starting in dragonfly, and then we'll transition into butterfly. Then we'll be taking rebound. All right, so finding those props to support the body. Allow your feet to relax here. Allow your ankles to release. Softening through the calves, softening through the backs of the knees. So as you gently release into the inner and outer thighs, Notice if you're clenching the muscles of your glutes, allow them to relax. Release any unnecessary tension in the belly. Letting your diaphragm expand beneath you. Letting your chest relax. If you're squeezing your shoulders, let the shoulder blades release. Breathing into the creases of the elbows. As you soften through the hands, let there be some space between the fingers. From there, notice any unnecessary tension within the throat. Relax your throat, relax the sides of your neck. Softening through the jaw as you release into the cheeks of the face. If you're clenching and squeezing your eyes, let your eyeballs relax, let your eyebrows soften. You can even feel a slight release to the ears as you relax throughout your scalp and along the crown of the head. Humbling yourself throughout the awareness of your body. Being bold within your space as you observe the sensations of stretch. Hover here within the stillness. And if the mind is trying to jog to the next thing, just remind it that it's here. It's here right now within the presence of the experience. Nothing to jog to next. And checking in with your breath. Breathing as deeply or lightly as you'd like, just as long as your breath is here. Maybe finding one or two more full cycles of breath. And then at the bottom of that last exhale, we'll slowly begin to press down through the palms, lifting through the head and chest. You'll open the eyes just enough so that you can remove the props out of your way. So anything within the knees of your dragonfly shape, you'll move your blocks to the side, you'll move your pillows, your blankets to the side. You might even remove that pillow or blanket that's beneath you. Not thinking too hard about this, but you're going to help your knees bend in. You'll scoot yourself forward. And as you begin to lie down, knowing we're coming into butterfly, you may take a pillow for the back of the head. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Those blocks that you just used in dragonfly, they may be there for you to prop your thighs and your knees now. Or maybe you won't use them. Maybe you'll use a pillow or a blanket instead. Allowing your arms to relax near the body, away from the body, or up above the head. So no right or wrong. but from our time in dragonfly, adjusting ourselves to enter into butterfly. And then from here, we'll fully let ourselves rebound. But notice what you're feeling within this sensation of butterfly right away. There may be some subtleness, right? Fascia contracting back from that dragonfly shape. And those subtle sensations begin to emerge with the present sensations as you feel the full experience of the fascia. Our interconnected tissue supporting the framework of our body itself, while also assisting in every internal function you can think of. Wouldn't be here without the fascia. In order for the different organ systems to communicate to one another, right? Fascia is like the phone line to each system. It's where all our cells travel through, as well as heal within. So honoring being humbled by the internal workings of our bodies that might guide us to soften a little more deliberately here, a little more intentionally. Remembering we're never stuck. So if the body ever needs to readjust or come out a little sooner, please honor that. We'll always all meet in rebound. At this point, though, you may find one or two more full cycles of breath. And then before you release your legs from butterfly, you may awaken your hands and arms first. After their little movements, the hands can come to the outer thighs, and you'll help the knees release. Maybe one leg at a time will straighten. Maybe you choose to windshield wiper the knees, right? Whatever it is. Take as many intuitive movements as you'd like, if any at all. And then you'll let yourself find that pause to rebound. This openness that we find within our space. Breath of fresh air, a different perspective, noticing the subtle sensation, again, as that fascia retracts back. But the echoes of the fascia allow our awareness to find this hum or buzz presence within the body. And allowing yourself to notice that. Soften within your rebound. And then whenever you're ready, you can stay in rebound for as long as you'd like, or we might awaken just enough to move around. Maybe now the hips want a windshield wiper and maybe the knees will drift to side. But we're going to let ourselves prepare for a twist. Okay, so if you still have a pillow underneath the head, you can keep it there if you're laying down. You may just find a blanket or another pillow or bolster close by. We can bring it to the right side. And your options to twist, you can bring the left knees into the, or left knees, you can bring both knees into the chest. Scoot your hips over to the left. As the knees continue to come high, you'll twist into supine if this is the best place to begin. Knees can go to the floor. You maybe use a pillow in between the knees, whatever you want. However, if you want to come into twisted roots, allow your left thigh to wrap around your right thigh. Okay. You might have your left foot double hook around the calf, maybe not. But again, hips will shift to the left, and then you're going to allow your legs to fold to the right. Whether you use the blanket or not, or use a prop for the knees, your choice, depending on how you feel at this moment in time. Not comparing it to other classes, my class, another class, not comparing to what you're used to doing. Right? What does the body need right now? Maybe today you need more props. Maybe today you need less props. But coming into that space of listening, making the best decisions from the body's intuitive guidance, and then we'll allow ourselves to arrive. You might reposition the shoulders so that the upper body can feel supported. But then your hands can relax near you, away from you, wherever you want them to be. Allowing your hands to open space between the fingers. And continuing to release unnecessary tension throughout the layers of the body. And checking in with the breath as you allow it to stay present. And as we notice these polarities between comfort and discomfort, noticing these polarities between boldness and humbleness, notice the emotional courage that's present here, along with the spiritual strength. These fibers and tissues that we're stretching into, they allow much more than just strength or flexibility or mobility and balance. It is because of our fascia that the body can circulate oxygen and blood, as well as any fluids or hormones, whatever needs to pass through the body and travel from organ system to organ system. Nutrients, right? That all flows through fascia. The fascia is the home for our nerves. Our nervous system lives within the fascia. It is the reason why we can feel sensation to begin with. Our fascia being deemed as its own organ system, providing us the senses, how we perceive senses through vibration of sound, music, light, all pass through that interconnected web. So allow yourself to take another full breath. And at the bottom of the exhale, you're welcome to slowly begin to release, slowly unravel from your twist. No right or wrong here. Excuse me. You might notice a counter movement or two, whether it's for the body's arms, for the body's legs, for the body's torso. Sitting within the space of your own company, maybe even being humbled by your presence. Just take a moment to allow the fascia to contract back. And then, of course, from here, you can stay, or we'll transition into our last pose, which is that twist, but to the left, so that the right leg's on top. Okay, so by picking up the hips and scooching them over to the right, you may find a supine twist, both knees high into the chest, twisting. Maybe you wrap your right leg around the left. Maybe you double hook around the calf or not, taking your twisted roots shape. And then as you settle into the legs, the arms and shoulders may need to walk or shimmy underneath and reposition themselves. But then from there, you'll close the eyes. You'll shift the body whenever necessary, but then again, come back to stillness. Finding the ease into the stretch as you soften. Letting go of unnecessary tension letting go of unnecessary control. As we release whatever the body is carrying. From time to time, you'll check in with the breath. Maybe even checking in with the gaze at the backs of the eyelids. I enjoy looking here, just noticing the different shades of darkness or lightness. Maybe any sort of texture, whatever appears. And sometimes the eyes may focus. Sometimes the eyes may drift within that daydream space. You might be noticing sensation and then drifting away. But regardless of where our consciousness is, the body's innate wisdom will stretch, will heal the unnecessary tension within the body. And you'll find another full cycle of breath. From there, you can begin to release from your twist whenever you're ready. No rush at all. Take your time as you unravel. Again, you may find a few intuitive movements here for the legs, for the arms. And as you notice that fascia contracting back and feeling the subtle sensations, we'll take any final last movements so that we can then prepare ourselves for our final rebound where we take Shavasana. Now, if you want that to be on your back, you may find a pillow to support you. Maybe you'll have some blankets near the body. Of course, if you want to take Shavasana on your belly, maybe you want to roll back to your side body. Whatever you feel like doing today, honoring that. And then from there, you'll begin to allow the arms and the legs to relax. You'll close your eyes. And as you settle into stillness, signaling to the body that you've arrived, letting ourselves absorb our practice as we shift and welcome ourselves towards Savasana. Very gently, let's begin to deepen our breath. Very gently allow yourself to arrive back into the space of your body, into the space of your room, and into the room we energetically share. As you deepen your breath, notice the placement of the hands and the placement of the feet. You can begin to take some gentle movements as you awaken through the hands and feet themselves. From there, you can lift the arms up and above the head, allowing yourself to take a full body stretch. If it feels good, you can bend into the knees, bring the feet flat to the floor, and gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Just gently awakening through the hips and through the torso. When you're ready, you can hug the knees into the chest, whether wrapping around the shins or the backs of the thighs. And then within your own time, you'll let yourself roll to the left or to the right. Bottom arm can serve as a pillow for the head. Within that time, it's almost as if we're pausing from Shavasana, rebounding from Shavasana, as you feel your spine release. Now you can stay here to end your practice, or you can gently push down into the floor and come back to sit. No right or wrong, no better or worse. Just find what intuitively is best for you. And wherever you'd like to end your practice, again, find stillness and reclose the eyes in case they've opened. Taking a moment to reflect here as you notice the reclaimed space within the body, the expansion within the breath, and the clarity in the mind. Let's find one cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose. Open the lips to exhale. We'll take another cleansing breath together. This time, you're welcome to bring the hands into prayer if that's comfortable for you. We'll take this one cleansing breath as we close our class. Inhale through the nose. Open the lips to exhale. Gently bowing your chin towards your chest. Thank you for practicing with me this evening, being elevated through yoga. Namaste.